This is the man in Michigan who made a name for himself by being one of 10 House Republicans that voted to impeach President Trump. Now, freshman Congressman Peter Meijer is being challenged by this man. John Gibbs is Trump's hand-picked candidate to end Meijer's congressional career. With degrees from Stanford and Harvard, Gibbs served under HUD Secretary Ben Carson in the Trump administration and makes no apologies for calling out Meijer for his betrayal.
It's an assault on the Constitution. Several of my future constituents have told me that when you use impeachment as a simple way to disagree with someone, which is not what it's intended for, it's intended for real high crimes and misdemeanors, not because of policy disagreements, you're basically spitting on the Constitution, which is what he and every single other person that voted for impeachment is doing. They're making a total joke of our Constitution. And it's also just a gut-level emotional thing. We had Justin Amash in our district before Peter Meijer, and he voted to impeach. And then Peter Meijer went out there saying, I'm going to be with Trump, I'm going to do what you guys want. Well, his first vote as a U.S. congressman, days after he got into office, was to, again, kick the people in the teeth and vote to impeach Trump. So there's a real sense of betrayal. This is twice in a row. And people also have to understand this is about Trump, but it's also much bigger than that. The reason we got Trump in the first place is because people felt the government was going off in its own direction and not doing what the people want. So when you vote to impeach, you're voting for the status quo, the establishment, keeping everything the way it is now, letting money control everything. Those are all the things that people felt are steamrolling over them when they saw Meijer vote for his impeachment. So,
a recent convert to Catholicism, Gibbs was an evangelical missionary for many years. He thinks the overturning of Roe v. Wade will be a winning issue.
Very historic moment we're living in for many reasons, but especially because Roe stands to be overturned, which is absolutely the correct decision. If you ask the average person in polling, do you think that the abortion issue should be decided by a big federal government in D.C. or should be decided more locally by the states? The overwhelming majority of people agree that this is an issue that should be at the state level. But that doesn't mean that the federal government should have absolutely zero role going forward, but it's definitely the absolute right thing to do to overturn Roe and bring sanity back. To say that there's a right to an abortion in the Constitution is absurd.
Make no mistake, this is a big race with national implications. It's going to be making national headlines. Right now, the poll numbers are looking really, really good for John, but he's going to need help from the church. And on that note, he has a very blunt and simple message for evangelicals and Catholics.
A lot of the churches are being very afraid. They're being very afraid to touch anything that they believe is quote-unquote politics because they think it's divisive. But they don't realize that they're going to be gone one day if we keep going on the path we're going down now. They'll be legislated out of business. They'll say, if you don't agree with our position on LGBT or whatever it might be, we're shutting down your church. That's the direction that some would like to go in this country. And if the church doesn't stand up, especially the pastors and priests, some of them don't stand up on this, we're really going to be in a tough position. So they've got to stand up more than we're doing now.